Hi everybody, it's Stan again. My video today is going to generally cover root cause, levels, data, peer reviews, terms like that that we see all the time, and hopefully you'll see some points I'll make and it might help you get to the root of what your problems are and get healthy. As always, this is the disclaimer part. You can read all this. I am not a doctor. I was just mercury toxic, heavy metals toxic. Many of us find our way out of that on our own. You might get lucky and find a good doctor. Most of us don't. I used a doctor for blood work and a little bit of guidance, but my doctor mostly worked with me. I would research, they would research, and many times we would just come to a compromise on what we're going to do and our best guess as to what to do to get well. You know, we're all different, so a lot of the things I found out, I had to go through a lot of trial and error. So try to sort that out for you so you don't go through the same. You know, we're kind of led to believe, like everything else, take a pill, get well. Take an antibiotic, and 7 to 10 days you're well. That is not the case with being toxic. It could take you weeks, months, even years. It took me about 3 years to get back to total normal, whatever that might be. But you know, at a later age, I don't know whether I'm really totally normal. You know, I don't know what normal would have been for me. So anyway, let me continue on. You can subscribe to a blog I have here and stay in touch. Again, my goal in general always is to just open our minds to all the possibilities so we can do our own critical thinking. Try to find the truth, find a root cause. I'd like to hear your thoughts too, so please like and subscribe. The stuff in the yellow are the things I talk to people all the time when they first approach me, because it's like the basics that I need to know to help sort out where you are. If you don't address MTHFR, for instance, you could go down a path and possibly do chelation and have a lot of trouble with that. A lot of people that have MTHFR have trouble with chelation. So, you know, you want to address these basic things. You also, you know, can't be walking around with amalgams in your mouth and be eating fish, or, you know, even once a week and think you're going to be okay. Okay, I would, you know, strongly suggest you get the exposure away. So, anyway, I will get to the point here. My number one detox that I did was boosting my natural glutathione, which is your body's natural detox. And I did it through MTHFR supplements and removing amalgams and any other exposure. So, now to the video. Goal. My goal is to suggest we realize we have to do our own research. Be aware of everything I'm going to talk about below. Try to think outside of the box. Careful what you trust. A lot of people out there will say, do this because this is what worked for me. And all I can say is we're all different, and there's a lot of people suggesting things that could harm other people because we are different. And if you're sensitive to different protocols or whatever, you can really mess yourself up. I did that on several things, and I talk about them in some of my videos. So now the key thing here: root cause, levels, data, peer reviews, trusting science, chemicals that are in our food, water, skin products, medicine, literally everywhere. So I guess my question is it all just a coincidence that, you know, we're all here trying to learn about toxicity and all that? Or was it by accident? You know, did they put amalgams in people's mouths and really truly think they can't hurt you? And then as the information started coming out that there were people sick from it, why do we still put amalgams in people's mouths? You know, what do you think? If the data in science was correct, you know, would we be sick? So if all this stuff in number 2 was correct, like we knew the root cause, or levels that are published were exactly right, the data was exactly right, the peer reviews done were exactly right, we could trust science, we knew that the chemicals that maybe are in foods and everything else were of such levels that they can't harm anybody. If everything was correct, would we be sick? Okay, I don't think so. Root cause is a big one, and I hope you understand this, because I see a lot of people thinking they found the root cause, but then they don't even realize that they're missing the truth. For instance, I've seen many people say that they took a lot of ibuprofen or acetaminophen, which the first one can mess your kidneys up, the other one can mess up your liver, and also your gut. They said, well, that's what ruined my digestive system, because they had gut trouble and stuff like that, and that was the root cause. And then I would say to them, well, yeah, but why were you in pain? So they were missing the reality that the pain was the original, not the pain, but the pain was a symptom, and the root cause is whatever was causing the pain. So like in number 6, we're kind of trained or indoctrinated to think that we should have pain or we should be sick. Okay, and when we don't know what's wrong with us, we go to the scientific types, doctors, scientists, whatever. That's our resource that we trust. So that's our belief system that we use. And when you do that, you can very well, be led down the wrong path and miss the reality of what the root cause is. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's very, very important. 5 and 6 are very, very important. From the day we're born, we're taught to trust authority people. Our parents, then our teachers, then leaders of all types. That's the way society is set up. So that's kind of programmed in our brains, and that's how we think. But who's to say we can't do our own thinking and our own research? And what if a lot of that stuff we trust isn't exactly 100% correct all the time? In number 8, for example, I just talked to a friend the other day. A dentist will say amalgams can't hurt us. Excuse me, I got a typo here. They can't hurt us because the levels are low. Or the newer amalgam is, they'll call it like mercury free, because it's got lower levels, and those levels can't hurt us. But I know for a fact that my levels were low. My mercury levels were low, and I had all these other heavy metals, and they were all kind of low. I had one that was on the high side, which was aluminum. Dr. Boyd Haley talks about the mix of heavy metals creates a synergy that no one can predict. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. When you think about it, you think of all the possibilities of various levels of various numbers of heavy metals in various numbers of people out there. How can you possibly figure out how that mix of different things is going to affect each and every one of us? Younger, older, strong immune system, weak immune system, MTHFR, less MTHFR, various grades of MTHFR. It's impossible to predict anything. And anybody that, refers to science or data or lab numbers, they really don't apply to this, okay? That's my finding from my own experience and many, many, many other people that figure it out. So like at number 9, doctors will say your levels are okay, but as an example, they might have tested improperly with a blood test. Yeah, sure, the blood test will say you are okay. Your levels are low, but you're not really okay. So the test was really wrong. It was inappropriately used, gave inappropriate results for what was wrong with you. How would you even know that? The doctors don't even know that. Their training doesn't tell them that that's not the test to use. Okay, I won't even dig deeper there. You might even say, well, maybe, it's intentional that they use the wrong test. I don't really believe that. In this case, I think they're just not trained about toxicity or heavy metals to the level that we need to know to detox us, because we all should have been poisoned in the first place. So, number 10, testing is only as good as the protocol used to create the data. Think about that. Science is used a lot. Trust science. I see that a lot today. Anyone who ever was around science types at work or wherever, realize all science is only following some set of norms or beliefs that some said were true, as like amalgams can't harm us. You know, there's a lot of scientific people say they cannot harm us. Okay, but we're all here mercury toxic trying to get well. Figure that out. Data, it's the same as science. You ever hear of data being fudged? Or how about the current events that we're all seeing with the virus right now? Why is all the data so confusing? You know, oh, it's based on this, it's based on that. You know, why should it be so confusing? Is there something else causing the confusion? And my number one pet peeve, peer reviews. I just can't. It really bothers me when I see that. You're going to let a group of peers out there that you don't know decide your personal fate. Many people say money's involved and the peer review may go one way or the other. I don't believe always it's follow the money. I think there's more to it sometimes. Sorry, I just noticed another typo here. I wish this thing would not auto-correct for me. But, you know, use computers as an example. Do you ever wonder why they can't build a computer that doesn't need virus protection and constant software upgrades to fix issues that weren't there when it was first designed? You know, I mean, it's all over the place when you start looking at it that way. Same comment with trust science. You know, the peer review, I'm on the same page with that. I mean, if you trust that, you might as well, you know, jump off a cliff because somebody said it's okay to do that. Last but not least, you know, humans all work in these areas. Humans follow the lead. How many do you know who would really speak out if they saw something wasn't right? Do you think science or peer reviews are any different? Okay, maybe they are, but many of us who have worked in those environments realize, you know, you're always under some scrutiny of some kind, and it takes a rare person to really step up and speak out. Chemicals are in everything. With the data on the labels, we may wonder about. My chiropractor recently gave me an example of an all-natural baby formula. She looked at the label. It's got corn syrup and ingredients. How can it be all natural with corn syrup? Many people that know about all this stuff say stay away from corn syrup because it's got trace mercury in it or mercury in it. You know, I can go on and on and on with these examples. I don't know if this helped or not, but I guess my general point is it's very, very confusing trying to figure out how to get out of being toxic when you're thinking that all the things that caused it aren't what caused it. I had an aha moment years ago. I realized mercury and metals was my key problem for many of my health issues, and I knew that once I got rid of that, I would reverse all that stuff and get well. And that's exactly what I did. So I don't say all this stuff just speaking out of, you know, whatever. I speak out of fact, and I also been around this for several years, talked to hundreds and hundreds of people, helped probably hundreds of people, point them in the right direction, just like we're talking here. And so that's my fact. You know, I don't really care what the science and the peer reviews tell me. I do my own research, and I come up with what makes the most logical sense. But you will not come up with the best answer if your brain is still thinking, trust my doctor, trust the science, trust this, trust that. Okay, sometimes you can trust it, sometimes you can't. But generally speaking, when your health is involved, have an open mind to everything. And the other thing, if you're not getting well with what you're being told to do, then you really haven't hit your root cause. Last, would any of you even be here if any of the above was not an issue? Think about it. You know, we should not even be here listening to these videos. I mean, there's no reason for us all to be sick. So hopefully that was helpful. I got a little off when I was talking about my chiropractor there. I didn't quite convey what I wanted to say, but I'm running out of time here. So hopefully this is helpful. Please like and comment and suggest to me other things I can talk about. And I hope this helped you understand, you know, how to trust the data, the science, the peer reviews, and all that good stuff. Take care.